Thank you for joining us for our workshop on how to apply for a Carberry Area Community Foundation grant. In this short video, we'll go through some tips and tools for a successful application. You can access our application by visiting carberrycommunityfoundation.com and looking for the tab that says Apply for a Grant. Our applications are accepted twice a year from February 1st to March 15th and August 1st to September 15th. Before you begin, you should review the grant application guidelines and ask yourself a few questions. Does your organization and the project meet the criteria? Do you have the required supporting documents? If applicable, have you and your qualified donee completed and signed your declaration of affiliation? And are you able to check most of the boxes for your project and organization on the self-evaluation list? At the time of this video, we are offering 3 different ways to apply for a grant. You can apply online using Google Forms. You can complete a fillable PDF, which can be submitted by email or mail. And you can also complete a Word document that can be submitted by email or mail. This slide provides an example of what each of the applications look like. If you choose to apply using Google Forms, you will be able to upload your supporting documents and type your answers directly into the form. Once you've done those 2 things, you can click Submit and you are done. The only hiccup with this option is that it does require a Gmail email address. So if you do not currently use one of those, you may want to look at one of our other application options. The second option is to apply using a fillable PDF. If you're going to do this, you'll want to go to our website to access the form and then save it to your computer. Once you've done that, you can type in your responses and save your form. You can print off your completed PDF and your supporting documents, and then scan and email one PDF file containing the application and all the supporting documents and send that to us. The Word document option is similar to the PDF option. You will also go and access the form on our website, save the form to your computer, and then you'll type your responses over the lines that are provided on the form. You can save that to your computer, print off your Word doc and your supporting documents, and again, scan and email one PDF file containing the application and the supporting documents. What should you do if you don't have a scanner? You could ask your qualified donee or registered charity if they are able to scan your application and supporting documents for you, and then ask them to email that package back to you so that you are able to submit the application to us. You could use an option on your smartphone, such as the scanner in the Apple Notes app. We do ask that you please not submit applications or report backs in photo format. These are too difficult to read after being printed or converted into PDFs. When you are filling out your application, explain your project as if you were talking to a stranger. Don't assume that those reviewing your application know your project, your organization, or your past projects. Keep in mind that members of the Carberry Area Community Foundation are on terms. So if you submitted an application 2 or 3 years ago, those who reviewed your application at the time may no longer be on the board. So more detail, more information equals better understanding for our grants review committee. Before completing and submitting an application, we recommend you do your research. Visit the Community Foundation's website and see past grants awarded. Is your grant request in line with the typical dollar amounts awarded by the foundation? And does your project duplicate a project which has already received funding? You will be asked to submit financials as a supporting document to go along with your application. Be sure to create an accurate and realistic budget for the project. If you have quotes, include them. Remember, more information is better. Include your organization's revenue and expense budget for the year. If a budget has not been approved by the spring deadline, include a draft budget. If you have a surplus in your account, include a note as to why, to help the review committee better understand why you need money for your project. Before you submit your application, have a read over and make sure you've provided as much information as you can. Has every question been completed fully with as much detail as possible? Do you have all supporting documents ready to include? When you're ready, you could also have someone else from your organization who knows the project well review it with fresh eyes, making sure that no questions are left unanswered and that the review committee will have an easy time understanding your project. When your application is ready to go and you are ready to apply, keep in mind that submitting online or by email will ensure your application reaches us before the deadline. There is some uncertainty when you send your application through the mail. If you are applying by email, be sure you are applying to the correct email address. Failure to do so may result in your application not being considered. If you are successful with your application and are awarded a grant, you will receive an email with a grant agreement and acquittal form for signature. Sign both pages of this form and return by email as a PDF by the deadline so that a payment can be issued to your registered charity. This email will also include a report back form. Save this so you have it available when your project is complete. This form is also available on our website. Once your project is complete, please submit your report back as soon as possible. The requested quote from a member of your organization is for our media announcements. Submit project photos at the same time as you send your report back form. If you are missing any portion of the required report back, just wait. Please send us the entire package all at once. When you complete your report back, you will be asked questions about your project, such as how did you achieve the outcomes you identified in your application? What effect has the project had on the community and on your organization? What have you learned from this project? Would you do it differently another time? You'll also be asked to provide a quote from a member of your organization about the project and the funding provided by the Community Foundation that we may use in our promotions and our publications. You'll also be asked to provide financial statements showing all income and expenses for the project, as well as receipts as proof of payment. Also, we ask for photographs of your project that we can share with the community. Usually, when you complete a project, the community is able to see your project at work right here in our hometown. So you may be wondering, why is a report back required? Carberry Area Community Foundation is a registered charity. Each year, the foundation must submit financial statements to CRA and complete a T3010 to remain in good standing. The Income Tax Act requires that every registered charity keep certain records and that these charities can be audited at any time. If any aspects of record keeping are considered not satisfactory, charitable status can be revoked. So having the information provided back to us to keep on record is so important. Community members love to see your completed projects. The more you share with us in your report back, the more we are able to share on our social media. Your project photos, the quotes from your organization about what the support from the Community Foundation means to you, and especially photos of community members enjoying your new projects, if they've given you permission to share, are what people want to see. To a donor, there is something very special about seeing their donation making a difference right here at home. So please share as much as you can. We've almost reached the end of this workshop, so here are some points to remember. Include everything you were asked for so the review committee has all of the information they need to make an informed decision about your application. Applications which are typed are easier to read than handwritten applications. Email your application as one PDF file and avoid sending your application by mail when possible. If you need to submit by mail, please plan to mail your application 2 weeks prior to the deadline to ensure it reaches us in time. Complete your project report back in good time with all of the requested information. And help us distribute grant dollars to as many priorities as possible. Apply when your organization has a strong need for funding. There may be other grant opportunities available when you are in need of funding. When we find out about other opportunities, we share them on our Facebook page. Give us a follow to stay up to date. Also, if you're aware of grant opportunities and you haven't seen us share them, send them our way and we'll be happy to put them out there so everyone is aware. Consider contacting your Economic Development Officer to inquire about available grants, or search for grants on your own at Manitoba Grants online. If you've reached the end of this video and still have questions, please reach out to us. You can email us at grants@carberrycommunityfoundation.com or give us a call at 204-476-0075.